Aloha and welcome to joining us to The Art of Life. I'm your host, Willow Chang Alion, and as you might have noticed if you've checked out our other shows, one of the things that is consistent is we are adaptable. It is always a series of navigating the seas of change, and today is no exception. So if you remember last week, we were in Maui and we had Jonathan Clark Seipert in the hot seat of Hulaville. This week we had a special guest planned and unfortunately was not able to join us. But you know what? I promise you, we're going to get him on a Skype interview. So if you tuned in to see the chief, we're going to find a way to bring him back. He might be stuck on a bus coming in from Nanakuli, and that is no lie.
That's no fun.
I didn't say it, he said it. So anyway, who do we have in the hot seat today? Well, as serendipity would have it, I came into the studio and lo and behold, it's Jeff Gere in the house. And this is the second time this week that I've seen Jeff. I just saw him 2 days ago at the Gandhi Festival, and we had Dr. Raj Kumar telling us about that at length. So Jeff and I always have to give you guys a disclosure. If you haven't realized this by now, I often invite people who I've worked and collaborated with, but ultimately people that I respect tremendously, who've helped encourage and create art. Creativity, sustenance, they prevent the cultural erosion. That's the term that I'm always going to say. And Jeff, no doubtedly, has done that in many different capacities. So perhaps you might know him. He does all of the good fun stuff with the city and county, with summer fun, with the Talk Story Festival. You might have seen him in Tales from the Arabian Nights. Oh,
with Willow Chang.
Oh my goodness!
They were such a great act, I tell you.
Fabulous.
You couldn't get a ticket.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But there are many things that Jeff does. And because Jeff has been on the show, not my show, but on ThinkTech Hawaii once earlier this year and once a little later this month, we're calling this show on the way to a ThreePeat. 3 times, because I don't know if you remember this. When we used to have 2 newspapers, remember those good old days? Okay. When there was the Honolulu Advertiser and the Star Bulletin, this was in the early 80s, they had a slogan, and they also gave away some free mailboxes, and the slogan was, twice a day, more better. Let me put that into standard English. Twice a day is more better. And that was supposed to imply that you should get both the morning and the evening newspaper. You can interpret that whatever you want to. But hey, you know what? Twice a day more better. Twice a month more better. 3 times a month, brother. That's the best. That's the bestest. That's choice.
So we're on our second visit.
Yeah, second visit.
On the same week.
Yes.
Hi, Willow.
Hey, Jeff. How's it going? So October is our favorite month for us little creative people. It's kind of the national holiday. For me, I call it my national holiday. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's called Halloween. For Jeff, it's his birthday. It's his birthday. And we love all of those things. The elocution, the spooky stories, the costume, the theatricality, the visiting of the spirit world, the gathering of the harvest. Can you tell I love this stuff? I do. Like, the moment I see candy corn and Halloween balloons and Halloween decor, and it starts to trickle in, usually at the end of September, my heart skips a beat. And I don't care if I'm in Foodland or the gas station or the library. Once I see that stuff, I feel like I'm 5 all over again.
Right.
Do you get the same sensation?
I was just walking down 4th Street, and there was the first booth of the season with funny hats, little horns you could buy, a halo or 2. I thought,
it's a good thing.
And I remember once going down to Waikiki, because usually for a guy that tells stories, especially spooky stories, Halloween is like time off.
Absolutely.
The period is over. It's like I'm like so burnt out. I usually go down to Waikiki and watch the parade, the cacophony, the orgy of shapes, sizes, costumes, characters walking down the street.
And I gotta say this, for those viewers who've never done Waikiki, or if you haven't seen it yet, my God, it's probably 25,000 people. I'm not
It
exaggerating.
is hallucinatory.
I don't know
You
why
get-
they don't just close Kalakaua Avenue down
They
and
should.
make it into an official parade.
They should. They should. It's so much fun, and it becomes this like being in an alternate universe. It's like being in the Star Wars bar, and it never stops. It just goes on and on and on, and everybody's in costume. And if you're not in a costume, that becomes your costume. So you just sit on the side, and it's just this avalanche, this constant swim of characters and people, some painted up wildly, some just looking odd, some with the store-bought, some really unusual, exceptional costumes.
Some of my favorite costumes are, and they know about it now, but every blue moon you have some of the Japanese tourists, and they don't have necessarily a costume, so they just kind of pull bunches of elements together. A snorkel mask, they might be wearing a bathrobe with a funny pair of slippers or a funny pair of glasses, or they will get a piece of rope and they'll hang a toilet paper roll around their neck, and it's like, what is that?
Right.
It's totally postmodern, and Lady Gaga did not beat them to the punch, and I love it. Last year, we saw about 8 turtles. Honu, if you want to get all Hawaiian on us. And they were on skateboards.
Oh, cool.
And they were actually
they were
paddling.
horizontal. Oh, wow.
And it's like, it was weird because you couldn't figure out why there was this path clearing. Well, there were 8 turtles swimming by Kalakaua Avenue.
The one
It's
I
pretty
loved
rad.
was like 8 Smurfs. Blue, topless, little, local Japanese girl, kind of bushy kind, walking through pushing people around, whoa, whoa, you just like, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Here comes a casket on rollers, and then it opens up, and it's an Elvis casket guy playing "You Ain't Nothing But a," boom.
Fantastic. Every year there's always the person who has the large cardboard box and it says kissing booth, and yet I never
Right.
see anybody taking them up on the offer. And it will say like free. The other one is mammogram. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we gotta give a shout out for
Do
the
our
men
part.
who are trying to do their part and get a feel on the situation and see what's out there. But we love it. This is a great, great, great time
It's
of year.
a psychologically freeing exercise to put on somebody else's skin, to get out of yours and to become some other. Either horrible, sexy, ridiculous, cartoony, whatever your predilection, it is liberating. And you see it on the streets. People are happy. People are acting out something, even for just a little millisecond. It's maybe their closest thing to a dramatic other that they get to in a year.
And it's beautiful to see that. I mean, we let our freak flag fly on a pretty daily basis, but I, as you do, enjoy seeing people acting out, and they come up with a little catchphrase, their version of "I'll be back," or whatever it is, a funny voice, or they assume a little limp or a hunch, and it's fantastic, the commitment to that. So let's back it up. For those of you who are unaware, and I don't assume you know, not everybody is a Wikipedia person, right? Halloween, with its origins, the whole reason why people would don a costume and try to look or be like somebody else is you're trying to
It's the
fool
crack
the
in the
spirit
egg.
world. Yeah.
It's the Celtic evening between the old world and the new world. It's the night when all of the spirits come up and walk through the world. And you either give them an homage or
Trick or
they
treat.
may play a trick on you. That's the origin of our trick and treat.
And it's just so beautiful. It's a beautiful concept. It's like that little membrane is much thinner. And this shouldn't give you the heebie-jeebies, because in Hawaii we've got night marchers, we have Obon season
Here
with
we
the
go.
Buddhist tradition, we have Qingming or Baisan if you're of Chinese descent, Dia de los Muertos, All Souls Day on November 1st and 2nd. So, the idea is you can enjoy life to the fullest, provided that you also remember those who are what I call dearly departed. And when you think of that as that the spirit world doesn't have to be scary, but you have to treat it with reverence and respect, just like the ocean, right?
So I have the Storytelling Festival, Talk Story Festival. Is coming up October 18th and 19th. Put it on your calendar. I won't mention it again, but if you've got ears to hear.
October 18th and 19th.
What date was that?
October 18th and 19th.
Down at the Hawaii Golf Clubhouse. If you've got ears to hear, 6 to 9, it's absolutely free. The best storytellers from the mainland and the local tellers come. Now, the first night is for spooky stories. So I'm now a sort of walking cacophony. I'm a wind-up toy. I'm handing out flyers. I'm hanging stuff up. I'm like, hey, let's talk story, talk story. And I'm just this afternoon at KCC. I'm handing out flyers. I'm hanging them up. I'm like, hi, what are you doing? Oh, well, it's Talk Story Festival. I look at a door, local lady. Oh, that. And I say, hey, Storytelling Festival. Oh, she lights up. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm caught. I'm like, she goes, oh, I say, oh, you're Hawaiian? Yeah, Hawaiian. Oh, I was looking for Hawaiians that can tell a story to a group. Oh, I cannot talk to the group, but you know what? And I'm like, and she starts telling me about how she grew up around KCC, but you know, nothing going on. Got another house in Waimanalo. Suddenly she's being introduced to, oh yeah, we go up on the hill, and there's all these stones in a circle, there's a tree in the middle. My mom was like, don't go up there, don't go play, that's for the spirit people. She's, huh? How she has a house, and she started feeling that she'd wake up every night and there was something pressing on her. She couldn't move. She wasn't scared, but it felt weird. And on the 7th night, she said, I turned on my side because I wanted to see who it was. And I got pressed down and I woke up. I couldn't see anybody, but when I looked, instead of the bed and the legs of the bed and then the floor, she said I was so pressed down, my head was by the floor. That's when I got scared.
That's when you gotta make an offering.
I said, I really got to go hand out the flyers, but thanks for the story. Oh, I'm going to come. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
The world we walk through with tables just like this are not as solid as it seems.
Something to think about.
Lots of stories. Tell you about it.
Now, the idea of storytelling. Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about
because we are in what some people would say is an increasingly visual world, emoticons, you know, and I think the beautiful thing about storytelling is you're using a completely different part of your imagination. So, yes, you as a storyteller are sharing, disseminating information, creating a universe, creating a fantastic journey for people to go on. But ultimately, even though the words and the stories are being provided, everyone is actually going on their own journey, because in their mind, by listening to the story, they're kind of plugging in their own visuals. They're filling in the blanks, so to speak. They're creating a movie in their mind. That's how I view storytelling. I mean, whether it's Fireside Chats with FDR or War of the Worlds and now the Storytelling Festival, how do you think storytelling has evolved or changed, if it has, in the 21st century? You have 30 seconds.
Well, I've only lived in the 20th and now the 21st century, so it's a little abstract to talk about, you know, the beginning of time.
What?
But, you know, man, from what I can discern, people do stuff and then they talk about it. When they talk about it, that's the story about what they did. And we are hardwired. I don't think dolphins do it. I know dogs don't. When I talk to my cat, he doesn't seem to care. So it's something about humans, not goldfish or anything else. Humans just can't get enough. We are suckers for it. We watch bad dramas where we know what's going to happen, interrupted by other little short vignettes that are trying to sell us stuff that we'll never buy. How many pickup trucks have you ever bought? But there's enough ads on there that you'd think you buy one every week. Anyway, they're on there and we watch them because we want to see what happens at the end. It's a precondition. It's covered under Obamacare and every other medical situation because humans can't get enough of stories. They talk to me about how kids watch TV, they can't pay attention. Well, maybe for a teacher that's in the classroom every day. But for me, they'll sit there as long as I talk. Because what happens is that the words go in, and behind their eyes, you're right, they start to imagine they are participating. Now, you're right, every one of them has their own unique personal experience. But collectively, we're all going through it together. It's called a communal vision.
I'm really excited because we're on live TV and we just had our special guest walk through the door, which is great because storytelling, I think, segues in beautifully with the idea of oral tradition, which is what many Native cultures are imbued with, is the art of oral tradition. So let me see if we can take a tiny little break and hook up our guests, and maybe we can all share this small round table. I'm Willow Chang, this is Jeff Gere, and this is The Art of Life. We'll see you in a moment.
Aloha, I'm Jay Fidel. This is ThinkTech Hawaii, broadcasting live from the Pioneer Plaza in downtown Honolulu. We raise public awareness about tech, energy, and globalism in Hawaii. Technology is critical to our state. A vibrant tech sector will give us new prospects in the global marketplace and will offer great careers and make our economy more resilient. Streaming live on Ustream and Spreaker, ThinkTech allows its hosts and guests invaluable opportunities to report important events and discuss important questions, and to be heard here in Hawaii and around the world. You can find links to our live streams on thinktechhawaii.com or on our mobile website, m.thinktechhawaii.com. And you can see our archive on YouTube. It's all just a click away. We want to do whatever we can to keep Hawaii relevant, connected, and thriving in the complexity of the 21st century. We hope you will help us in those efforts. Tune in today. This is ThinkTech. I'm Jay Fidel. Mahalo.
I'm David Day, the host of Asia in Review. This is a ThinkTech program in which we take the issues of the Asia-Pacific region, whether they be in business, in foreign policy, in national security, or geopolitics. And we take those issues and we try to probe down in some real depth. Maybe it's not always politically correct, but we get to the truth. We do things that the regular media can't do. And the reason that we can do those things is because we here at ThinkTech have the contacts, we have the network, and we can take the time and explore the issues in depth. Tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. here at ThinkTech Hawaii. I'm David Day, the host of Asia in Review. This is a ThinkTech program in which we take the issues of the Asia-Pacific region, whether they be in business, in foreign policy, in national security, or geopolitics. And we take those issues and we try to probe down in some real depth. Maybe it's not always politically correct, but we get to the truth. We do things that the regular media can't do. And the reason that we can do those things is because we here at ThinkTech have the contacts, we have the network, and we can take the time and explore the issues in depth. Tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. here at ThinkTech Hawaii. I'm David Day, the host of Asia in Review.
Aloha, my name is Dan Bauer and I'm the general manager of the Plaza Club. The Plaza Club is Honolulu's premier business club. We're located in the heart of the financial district on historic Fort Street Mall. On the 20th and 21st floors atop the Pioneer Plaza, our commanding skylight views, along with our award-winning cuisine and service, are known as the place to do business downtown. We offer professional as well as social events and programs to our members and their guests, all tailored to enrich their professional and personal lives and to give them the cutting edge that they deserve in business. Why don't you consider becoming a member of the club? Call me at 531-7788 or come see me and let's talk business and how the Plaza Club can work for you. Again, my name is Dan Bauer. I'm the general manager of the club, and I'm here for you.
Aloha. I'm Nicole Horry for ThinkTech. For nearly half a century, the Hawaii Foreign Trade Zone No. 9 has brought the benefits of the Foreign Trade Zone program to Hawaii businesses and entrepreneurs. DBET, the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism, operates Hawaii's Foreign Trade Zone program to encourage international business and economic development. The Foreign Trade Zone's mission is to increase the amount of international trading activity in Hawaii, thereby providing employment opportunities for the residents of our island state. For more information, see ftz9.org. I'm Nicole Horry. Mahalo. Aloha. I'm Nicole.
Hi, I'm Jay Fidel. Yes, this is ThinkTech, broadcasting on Ustream and Spreaker both day and night, doing its thing on OC16 and Olelo, and uploading videos all over YouTube. Check us out and see the links on thinktechhawaii.com. Mahalo.
I'm Bill Spencer, president of the Hawaii Venture Capital Association. We do monthly luncheon programs with ThinkTech about things that matter to Hawaii entrepreneurs, investors, and business service providers. So join us on the fourth Thursday of every month at the Plaza Club. For information about upcoming events or to join our mailing list, visit hvca.org. See you there.
Aloha and welcome back to The Art of Life. I'm your host, Willow Chang Leon, and if you are just joining us, well, lucky on you, because our special guests have arrived this afternoon, and I am really, really thrilled to have them and honored. So, my guest, Chief Rock, also known as Sino, all the way from Ontario, Canada, and his guide, Puki'i,
Hi, aloha.
representing the HNL 808 state. Welcome and aloha. Thank you for being
Aloha.
here. So, I'm going to start off asking a bunch of questions to the Chief. Chief Rock, you are visiting from Canada and you're sharing with us the cultures from Native American traditions. Would you tell us a little bit about the tribe that you're representing and the purpose of your tour here in the islands?
Well, first, I maybe that I'm coming out of my territory, not out of Canada, because Canada isn't in our territory.
Okay.
So we're coming out of our territory of the Gayakono Nation and the, I guess in English you'd call them the Mohawk Nation. So together with our nations, we're the 5 nations or the 6 nations. And the way we refer to as the Haudenosaunee, or we like to refer to ourselves as the Onkwe-Hongwe. And so we were invited down here to the powwows. There's a 3-circuit powwow that we hit. One in Hilo, Kauai, and then now here in Honolulu this weekend we're going to be doing the powwow. And then we had our friend here in their organization invited us to stay with them, and they host us and helped us out quite a bit now that we're here in Honolulu.
Super. So I've been following your travels on Facebook, and I can see the really warm reception that you have with the local people and the educational tours. The Intertribal Powwow has been going on here in Honolulu. It's always the first weekend in October, and it's a beautiful event that involves drumming and fancy dance competitions. There's always fry bread. You got to get it early, otherwise it's gone.
Yeah, so we're bringing in that smoke dance, our social songs that we do from back home in our longhouses, because in our longhouse there are maybe 20 families or more would live in one longhouse, and a long time ago we would have socials. We would gather together and we would sing songs, and these are songs that anybody can sing. We can have them kind of out, and it's more like for everybody because it's like a social time to socialize. And they're not our ceremony. We don't bring our ceremony songs out like that, but with the social songs we do and the show that we're doing, we're showcasing some of the dances and songs that we do from back home. And the one main popular one is the smoke dance and the war dance that we do. So that's basically what we're here for.
That is wonderful. Now, I understand that as a host, you're also helping bring a channel into access to the Hawaiian culture. How do you feel there are similarities? I already think I know just a skosh, but would you like to share, both of you, the similarities between, let's say, these are broad terms here, people, Native American culture and the Hawaiian culture? Because there seems to be a lot of synergy and a lot of similar value systems.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the similarities culturally, what we have, I believe, is that connectedness and that understanding of Aina, or our land, and that connectedness to our resources, our natural resources, as well as that spiritual connectedness with ancestors. And it's a real honor for us to assist our cousins from afar and support their efforts in reviving, rejuvenating, and preserving their cultural heritage, traditional ceremonial practices. So very much like them, it's my own personal passion and journey and mission, I guess you could say, to assist in the effort to grooming and preparing the next generation of Native Hawaiians to build that connectedness and also to reinstill those values that unfortunately every generation has been sort of withering away. So a lot of the values are definitely incorporated with a lot of our activities that we do with some of the youth that we take care of out in the Leeward Coast in Waianae. So I guess one particular project that I'm working on with my friends out at Queen Liliuokalani Children's Center. It's a program called Nakia'i Oiwi. So basically we created this, we started a venue for male youth to come and reconnect with these traditional practices, get reacquainted and re-immersed into these the values, channeling that negative aggression through the warrior dances, through ha'a or aiha'a, or other Polynesians might refer to it as haka, but ha'a, if you will. So, but at the same time, other than teaching them the warrior dances of ha'a or aiha'a, we also include a lot of the spiritual component to that, teaching them Oli Hawaiian chant and ceremonial protocol and etiquette. So I think we're sort of on the same line, and trying to do the same effort to perpetuate the arts and the traditions.
Now, that's so wonderful. Thank you. In keeping in mind with the perpetuation of tradition, there's also innovation, because Chief Rock has his own recordings, and I don't know. I'm hoping giving the right label to it. I hate labels.
I'm not even sure if I have a label for it. It's more of a hybrid of the social songs that we have traditionally and my love for hip hop music together. So I kind of created this hybrid of hip hop, traditional over top of each other, and it really works well together.
Yeah.
And the reception of it is like crazy.
Has it been really good?
Yeah.
Have the elders also been accepting? Sometimes when you're in a traditional art form and then you deviate from that, or you invite and you use fusion forms, there's a little resistance, but there's also this need to adapt to the time. So how has that affected you?
I think it affected me quite well. I mean, from what I've saw and what I've witnessed watching elders interact, or even if they don't know I'm watching them, and the music's playing, I just see them like shaking in their chair, or they're standing up. I have videos of them dancing to my music.
Yeah.
But then they have these other people who may be trying to pick at it a little bit, but I never really see that. I don't see that. Maybe there's like little whispers about it, but other than that, it's been pure 100% like support, because they see that me doing that is actually bringing the young ones back to our tradition.
Right. You're like the Pied Piper. It's a great tool to bring people into the fold.
Yeah, because at a youth gathering, I did my music, and this young kid just was like, he goes, I never cared, I was all about my hip hop, because I never really cared about my music. Because now, he goes, your show inspired me to like want to go back and learn our songs so I could do what you do. So just that was just the mission I did to make that music, to make them a blend, was to bring the belly used to the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
And it worked.
How has technology been beneficial to help you get your message out? Obviously we have recordings, but things like social media or your website, has that been allows you a means of connectivity to a larger audience, to get the message out, to have fans, to have a conversation with various artists and activists?
Yeah, it actually connected me to quite a lot of people, like even for yourself, right? Through friends and everything.
Exactly.
The internet and the technology, it's just instant now. Like the connection, when something happens, people know about it. When something new comes out, people know about it. It just it's like a wave. It just trickles down really quickly across the planet. I mean, there's millions of people who get the information immediately. So I think it's good, because it helps a lot of people who may be in other parts of the world, who don't get exposure to people like us who are performing, or if he's teaching something and it gets put on the internet, someone for where he's from, they may not ever have that where they are now in the world, but now that they have the internet, they can access that and watch it and experience it, right?
I think what's really interesting is that these traditions are shared as oral traditions. Hawaiian is an oral tradition. Many of the Native American culture is an oral tradition. And I think sometimes as a part of that, there's been a misunderstanding and maybe it's been debased or devalued for that. So here you're actually able to maintain the integrity of the oral tradition, but use the technology as a means to get the message across, which is just fantastic. You know, but you still also you can have a visual with film or with video, and so you can see who is sharing this information with you. It's really not about the individual, the ego, when you're planting a seed for something to root, as important as cultural preservation.
Right.
So that's awesome, gentlemen. Okay, I have a little tiny note here of things I wanted to discuss. They're kind of random things here, but I wanted to address not that you have to be representative of every person who's Native American.
But I can.
Let's be clear.
I can't represent everybody, you know?
Yeah, everybody in the house. When we had movies like The Lone Ranger, Johnny Depp got a lot of heat for his depiction of his creation of Tonto.
Yeah.
And he also claimed has Native American blood, and I don't think he would necessarily, I don't know Johnny Depp, but I don't think he did something with the intent of creating an image that was harmful to Native people. How do you think how hard is it to navigate creation and tradition as an artist for yourself?
I don't really even think of it that way. I just do it.
Yeah.
I just do it because, I mean, we've had other people who tried to do a lot of our songs to like contemporarily, like how I'm doing it, but they changed the way you sing it so much that it's almost not even the same song anymore. They kind of created their own song, but using the words. Like we have a song like, say, the stick dance. We have that would go, yo ho hey I love you ho yo, and then but the artist would come on and go, love yo ho hey hey love yo like they would change it up so much that a lot of our people would just be like, yeah, we don't want to hear that, you know. Where I don't, I just kind of keep it straight on how we normally do it. I'd even like have the rattles and the drum going behind the beat. Yeah. And so you still get that traditional energy through the music, but now it has that more like behind it, where it makes you, it's like it's new, so it kind of makes you want to move because that traditional vibe and rhythm is there, but also that electronic, up to date kind of what we're hearing now in the clubs and radio is there to represent, you know. And it's not like a black thing or a white thing or anything. It's just we're just, you know, doing what we love to do in our social music, right? We don't have a label for it. And that's why it's hard. I just call it a hybrid of old and new, you know?
I'm curious about the singing styles. Would you call it singing, or would you refer to it as chanting? What would be the proper, I guess, verb?
Singing? I guess it would be chanting, because a lot of songs will have words in it. Yeah. But a majority of it just has like chanting.
Because something interesting, I'm a singer as well and a musician, and even when you're studying music that is in the Western realm, those who have studied the power of voice and how things travel through the vowels, they always cite Hawaiian music, the Hawaiian language, because it's so vowel-centric. It carries the message and it vibrates at a different frequency. And it sounds that there's a similarity. Like, what are the healing aspects of the song? Clearly, you have a purpose to share a story, or you have songs that are specifically for certain festivals or animals or totems, what have you. But is there a healing quality as well to the voice that's intended to heal the community or the person experiencing it?
I'm not sure how I guess I can just kind of share on my perspective on things. I definitely utilize our mea'oli, our chanting, as a form of meditation and healing, you know, as well as you know, that observance of tradition, protocol, ceremonial protocol, ceremonial etiquette, you know. But yeah, I definitely, and we also teach our students to utilize those chants as a form of meditation
Right.
and spiritual healing as well. Just by the voice exercises or or whatever is linking it to some of the warrior dances, releasing that tension, yeah, projecting energy, learning how to harness energy, yeah.
Yeah, I think for us it's more like it's same idea, what he's saying, but we also like a lot of the singing and dancing we do. If it's like if you're dancing, you already know the exercise puts out these positive endorphins into your body. So, already it creates a good energy, a good circle of people around each other. And then the singing is this, we culturally, we identify that, what our ancestors did a long time ago, and we like to represent that and honor that and kind of keep that going for the next generation. Because, a long time ago, they would like beat them down for even doing any of that. Like it was like outlawed by the governments not to do that. Like they knew our connection to the land and to everything around us kept us strong by those songs and dances, and that's our strength right there.
Yeah, and that's a common thread. You find that even with the history of classical Indian dance or capoeira in the Brazilian community, the intent of suppressing people's culture and expression and connection to the land and their traditions. So it pains me to know that this is our collective global history. But when you do something as you have with education and awareness and creation, it kind of helps combat that maybe old school way. This is kind of a heavy question, but I want to go there. And the idea of reservations, or the reality of reservations, which there are reservations set aside in the United States for certain tribes or groups, and then Hawaiian homestead lands. Do you think that this is a solution, or is it just one part of the equation, or do you think it's a healthy environment for people to necessarily be sequestered, or do you think it's helpful? I know those are many questions there, but it's such a complicated issue. What are your personal takes on those things?
Well, I think my personal take is, it's like this. Say, for example, I stole your car.
Yeah.
And I stole your car, and you ask for your car back, and all I offer you is your hubcap. What good is a hubcap? Yeah. So I guess, that, I think, health-wise, I look at a lot of the Hawaiian homelands, our native Hawaiians are given to live on. A lot of these lots or these parcels that they're given, it's you can't really grow, and that is a part of our culture to be connected with Aina, to plant your own food, plant your kalo, sustain your family. Unfortunately, a lot of our homesteads are built over humongous slabs of coral bed, or Aina that may have been tainted by previous agriculture or something like that, and I guess it's for us, it's trying to herd us all in one box, and we can be Hawaiian in this little box here. And the tourist industry, they go out and they exploit our culture, and all the outside world, outside of Hawaii, all they know is coconut tops and grass skirts, but they don't
And huts.
and grass huts, and not realize not being not exposing some of our hardships that we gotta put up with, besides the exploitation of our culture, and the educational system, the structure that, and in fact, I was just sharing with my friend that, there was a couple of times I had to scold my my kids' teachers. You know, you say you're gonna be sharing, you know, a biased view of history. You gotta teach the flip side of the coin.
Yeah.
If you're gonna teach about, you know, Thanksgiving, the Indians and the Pilgrims, hey, you better be sharing about the land grab and the massacres that happened after.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna teach that.
Those wonderful pox-filled blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first bioterrorism that I know of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And how about your take on this?
You know, like I said, like even with our songs and dance, everything's similar. Like a lot of what they did, it's almost like they had a design to go around all the different tribes and implement the same design, because a lot of the same stories are the same. Like they put us on lands where you can't grow anything, and it
Take
wasn't
the leftovers.
Yeah, and it wasn't like they, oops, we didn't mean to put you there. No, it was definitely. You know, it was that plan to put us in areas where we can't farm, where we can't grow our food, so we're dependent on them, and that that way we have to benefit from their corporate situation of having a birth certificate and being integrated into their personhood of being a person and being a Canadian or American and all that sort of political status, or, you know, to travel amongst our own lands. Like, you know, if they can starve us out to make us beg them for a benefit, then now we enter into a contract creating, you know, our own demise by our conduct of entering onto their ship. Because in our way, we had a treaty that says these two ships won't try and steer each other, and we'll keep all what we do in our ship, you keep yours in a canoe. But yet they've starved us out, so we jump onto their ship, citizenship, and off our treaty, and that way, you know, they're kind of tricking us into the situation that we're in with this corporate identities, and, you know, kind of how it is right now. That they sort of created that situation, and they're driving it home right now with it, because a lot of people don't remember how it used to be before they got here. Like, that we're citizens and that we're people of our nation, not Canada.
Gentlemen, what do you see as a possible solution? I know it's a complicated thing, but my feeling is, in this age of information, which, hello, this thing called Google, if people remain ignorant, I almost feel like that's a choice.
No,
There's almost no excuse to not have some intellectual curiosity, cultural curiosity, artistic curiosity, and see what's out there. It doesn't even have to be of your own culture, but become citizens of the world and learn ways of being compassionate, ways to be a peaceful warrior. What would you recommend? I think going to the powwow tomorrow is a great start.
Yeah, the powwow would be good.
Come and talk story, hear these songs, see these dances, you know.
The main thing is to want that education, because with TV, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, coffee, and everything else that they poison people with, that there is what creates a docile situation, especially with fluoride in the water and all that sort of things. They like to manipulate people, because, you know, it's well known in Russia and all them other camps they used to hold people, and they would feed them fluoride knowing it would keep them kind of like a drugged out state, and that's kind of what they want the people to be. And the moment the people rise up and want to like claim, you know, their God-given right or creator-given right, or whatever right that they call it, and then they start calling them terrorist or domestic terrorist or a free man or sovereign or whatever, they start labeling it, so that way it looks like, oh, we don't want to do that. Let's continue being docile and beg them for a benefit, or let's you know, bow at their feet, because they're going to send in the guerrillas with guns who are going to force you to do what they want you to do.
Yeah.
When they, you know that the pen's mightier than the sword, at least that's the rumor. And so education, learning, not being ignorant to you know, history and what they're doing and what they continue to do, and, you know, be open. And a lot of people they're afraid of that.
What he said, I couldn't agree more with you, and I think that it's everybody's collective responsibility to educate themselves and foster awareness and cultivate being compassionate, and that's really understanding your brother, understanding yourself. I know the topics were kind of heavy, but something I hope you'll discover is that within the heart of an artist, there's not just the fun and the games, but there's a real deep, resonating soul work and a purpose and a calling, and that's what everyone who I hope sits in the chair has tended to, and you're going to see that trend with the art of life. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I want to just mention this once more. Tomorrow and Sunday, which is October 5th and 6th at Thomas Square Park on Baratania, you can go to the Intertribal Powwow. It is free and open to the public. It's a great place to bring your keiki, bring your kapuna, your elders, your family, your roommates, whatever. Have a good time, support the culture. Come talk story with Chief Rock. If you go to my page on Facebook, Willow Chang Dance, I will put a link to Chief Rock's information because I'd love for you to hear his music, and I'd love to have a link to your good work as well. So, Imoa, my friends, we will see you next week. This is The Art of Life on ThinkTech Hawaii, and it's been a real pleasure. Aloha.